Hello all my Kenvians, and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Classic Doctor Who. Today I'm going to be watching, well, obviously again, 2 episodes to continue the Keys of Marinus, starting with The Screaming Jungle, which the last episode ended with a screaming jungle that Susan found herself in, and then she herself, surprisingly, started screaming. So, let's just continue in. And just so you know, I'm going to do my best to not sniffle too much on the camera, because I know that can be annoying and probably kind of gross for some people, but allergies are kind of kicking my butt today, but I will do my best, I promise. But let's get right into it with The Screaming Jungle. And 3, 2, 1, go.
It's a funny old place, isn't it? Yes. You know, in a few years, these walls will be so weak you could push your way through.
Oh god, I'm having Evil Dead flashbacks.
Looking at this archway. Trying to throw it all around me. It was just your imagination. I'm sorry.
Understandably, that would be something that would be a bit hard to believe.
No, it couldn't. I thought there was a way through. Ian.
Yeah, creepy doll hands.
The key, the microcircuit, I found it.
Grab the booty. Oh, mechanical whirring, sure.
Wait for you, Ian.
And I'll be your guardian, Susan. Look after her, Atos. Take care, my friend.
Goodbye, Ian.
It's hard to not see him as being creepy after that last episode.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ian, behind you.
It's a very specific location for a trap.
Just a bit short, Hannah. No, it's pretty solid.
Are you sure, Ian?
Ian? Ian?
I'll be right with you.
See, the door opened. Quickly, Barbara, contort your body so that you fall in between the spikes.
What have you done with Ian?
He's having some trouble pooping, seemingly.
I haven't long to live.
So tell them where the key is.
You must trust us. Tell us.
Bum. You are mostly useless as a character, but thank you for your time served.
It's quite dark outside.
The darkness. I believe in a thing called
Through
love.
this one.
No.
Sounds like whispering.
Does it?
Whispering. He said
Who knew that plants could rip so easily through cardboard? She screams.
it must be far below zero.
This wind go right through. We must move.
Of course they mean 0 by Celsius.
I'm too cold.
Barbara, you've got to. We must move. If we don't find shelter, we don't stand a chance.
Ba-da-ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-da-ba-bum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum. All right. Well, that was an interesting one. I really like that. The Screaming Jungle. I don't know. I do wish that, I don't know, based on the name and like the noises we hear, it does sound kind of like a hushed screaming, so I can see where they would get whispering, but I wish they had gone with one of the two, just, you know, for consistency's sake. Like, you know, you hear the screams through the whispers of the trees, or something like that. But that's just, you know, a little aside. That was a pretty cool little episode. I like that, and I gotta say, I mean, while, yes, the hands and the idol, they're obvious, but Like, especially back then, that would be a source of tension because, you know, they're just using these, you know, affordable, practical effects. And so, you know, some kids seeing, you know, this idol with these human-looking hands, it's just kind of like, oh God, no, no, Barbara, no! And then it starts closing, and I can only imagine how it felt to see that back in the day as a kid, or, well, even as an adult back in the day. But yeah, that's, there are some really cool elements of this. I like the interaction with the different characters. We didn't get to see much of, Lord, I still don't know their names, but the two characters from the previous episode, The Velvet Web, you know, got to experience a little bit of them, and I commented on this during the reaction. I don't know whether or not I kept it in the YouTube version, but it's clear that, you know, they're both good people. It's like, you know, they are good guys, so to speak. But because of how just incredibly creepy the guy was in The Velvet Web, it's hard for me to not look at him and, like, you know, when he says, "Come, Susan," it's kind of like, you know, foreboding or kind of evil. I don't think he's going to be a bad guy. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but it was, I don't know what it is. It's something about, like, maybe the darkness around his eyes, something like that. And you know, some people are just like that, but it makes it so that it's hard for me to trust him, so to speak. So I will be interested to see if what comes next in the Snows of Terror, whether or not he might turn out to be a bad guy, or at least not stay true to the mission, I guess you could say. Oh, but yeah, what else about this one? The way that it was set up with the jungle and then all the different traps, I think it's pretty brilliant what they did with what limited resources they had. And it was believable because, yeah, when Susan was grabbed by the branch or the vine, it's understandable that someone would find that hard to believe, because I mean, yes, it was kind of coiled around her, but it could seem that, like, you know, the vine had fallen on her, and then Susan kind of kicked her leg, and that would make the vine kind of, like, you know, wrap around her leg a little bit. So there's logic to it there in Barbara not believing her, whereas, you know, a lot of stuff that can happen in the show, if someone shows some disbelief, you're like, really? After everything you've seen here alone, you're not believing them? Really? But yeah, and then it brought a full circle there with Barbara getting the vine wrapped around her legs when they were in the shed or whatever it was. And again, just the traps, the way it was set up. Yes, the guy with the axe, or the machine with the axe, that's one that would have to be very, very precise, I guess you could say. Like, the person who steps on that tile really can't have moved out of the way for that trap to work, I guess, and also not have noticed that they depressed the floor, and then, like, the noises and everything. That's the one trap that I have issue with, but the rest, admittedly, were pretty clever. Again, given as much as they could do with what they had budget-wise. Especially the little cage that Ian got caught in when he tried to pick up one of the tools. You know, it was attached to a chain. It's stupid to tug on the chain further, in my opinion, but it's like, you know, when that happened, he got shut in the gate, or in the bars, and I thought that was pretty clever. But I'm gonna, you know, basically I thought this was a really cool episode. I'm ready to get into the next one, the Snows of Terror, but first, I'm going to go blow my nose, because, yeah, allergies suck. Anyway, I will be right back, and you'll see me after the quick cut. Alright, I'm back, and it's time to get into the snows of terror. Yarr! Anyway, on with the show. And go. Well, didn't expect them to go out like that, but I guess that, you know, Barbara and Ian could only be around so long. It was nice knowing you. I left the other guy out there.
Don't be afraid. You're safe now. This most men fear me, so I have few visitors.
I am no man.
Light is beginning to return. You get through the fir forest, you'll see the lights.
Might wanna...
Well, thank you.
No? No? Nothing? Okay.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
And that was how Ian lost his ears to frostbite. I suddenly really don't know what to think of that guy.
Those beasts could send meat a couple of miles away.
So throw the bag.
That's always making certain that he wouldn't get there. Well, he's got a surprise coming to him, hasn't he?
There you go.
Come on.
It sounds like he hit the wolf.
There's no way you can. Treacherous. No, Altos. We want him unharmed.
Do we?
You're going to show us where the cave is.
Oh, yes.
Useless. We wouldn't last an hour. How long do you think we'll last here without any fire?
Longer than out exposed.
Hang on, I'm coming over.
And then he's going to cut the bridge and you'll be stuck there.
Oh, Susie.
And you don't have your dials.
Thought we'd never get out of there.
Hello. Blink. Blink. Hey, he blinked.
Slide it along that one, Jen.
Make sure you tied it stalactite
Right.
with all your
Careful.
stalagmite.
Careful.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bite him. Oh. He got stabbed. Yay! Happy ending. So, was Ian, like, does it send them to different places? Because that's the only thing I can understand, or even kind of, yeah. So, Ian was the only one there, and apparently there's I guess a guard of this museum that's dead. That was killed by whoever stole the key there, but the only explanation I can think of, especially since they were all grouped together, is that the dials don't necessarily send everyone to the same place. I mean, it seemingly sends them over about the same time as when they actually transfer, but they weren't in the same location. I mean, if Ian was there and he was looking at that, where was everyone else? Or, I don't know, maybe in the next episode, we'll get some sort of explanation as to, like, maybe that happened later, like, after they had arrived in the next destination. That's the only thing I can think of. Again, that makes any sense to me. But, let's see, what else about this episode? That guy, the trapper, Ava whatever, so happy he's dead. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. My God, he was... I mean, at first I thought he was going to be one of those, like, you know, gruff and unruly people, but who end up having a heart of gold. No, he's a straight up douche. Oh my God. And I mean, and ooh, very, very rapey. I mean, there was a lot of not great imagery well, not even necessarily imagery, just like suggested stuff going on there. Like if Ian and Altos hadn't shown up again. But yeah, I couldn't have happened to a better guy. Or no, wait, what was his name? Vazor? That's what it was. Yeah, Vazor. Whatever. Anyway, dead now. And I like the design for the ice caverns there. It was overall really well done, and like I was even thinking when it first showed the girls inside of the cave, like I was thinking that it looked like an ice cave of sorts. So the fact that they confirmed that later by pointing out that it was made of solid ice, I thought was really cool. I mean, especially given how apparently severely cold it is there. Like, it makes me wonder, like, how much of that mountain is actually just solid ice? And how cold does it stay there, like, year-round? And that's like, you know, world building kind of stuff that we'll never learn. But it kind of sends my imagination soaring as to, like, what things are like around there. They have a village nearby, apparently. But what are like the people like there? Clearly they're not like Vazor, whatever his name is, which would be a wonderful thing. And actually, now that I think about it, have they doomed the people in that village to death by these knights? Or the demons? Whatever they are, these immortal knight things? But yeah, that's is a lot around there I'd like to know more of. And I do want to say, both of these episodes, the fact that they don't have the Doctor in them at all, which it was explained to me on the previous video in a comment, that apparently William Hartnell, he took a vacation around this time. So he will be coming back in this episode, in this next episode, Sentence of Death. But yeah, the fact that he wasn't there at all, it was done really well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that, you know, this original Doctor, since it was, I mean, it's all the way back at the beginning, they're still establishing the character, and he's not as charismatic as his New Who personas are. He's just more of a, you know, he's an old man, and he's the Doctor, and he's very smart, but we kind of don't see that too often. But I think it's the simple fact that the show doesn't rely so much on him at this point in its existence, other than for the title obviously, that they were really able to pull off these doctorless episodes fantastically. Like, the rest of the cast really did a good job. And I mean, looking back, anytime that there have been a lot of times that I've commented on how different this Doctor is from, obviously, you know, the new Doctor Who that I know, and I didn't really have any of that comparison going on, because they were two adventures featuring the rest of the cast, and the rest of the cast did a really good job, in my opinion. So yeah, I really like these two episodes, and it has me looking forward to watching Sentence of Death and the Key... Oh, the last episode is just the Keys of Marinus. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking that out. I would record it right now, but I want to go ahead and get this video edited and out there for you all, and also hopefully give some time for my allergies to stop bothering me. But yeah, Snows of Terror, the Screaming Jungle and the Snows of Terror, you know, had some questionable issues at times, but overall just really good, solid episodes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hear what you all have to say about these episodes, about, you know, what I've had to say about it. And if you're interested at all in watching these along with me, especially if, you know, you haven't had a chance to go through the classic Who, and you know, maybe you want to follow along with me on here, the Brit box, as they call it, is a pretty nice deal. If you have Amazon, I don't know if you have to have Amazon Prime in order to use this, but I have Amazon Prime, and then you can get a Brit box subscription, and I want to say it's like the first 7 days are a free trial, and then after that it's I can't remember if it's $6.99 or $7.99 a month. I'll confirm that and put it in the comments down below after I post this video. But they have like a huge, they have 27 seasons of classic Doctor Who. Now obviously they don't have like the reconstructions and stuff like that, but as far as stuff that is still retained, and I mean maybe not all of it, but most of it, I mean, $7.99 a month isn't bad, and also it gives me the ability to watch some other shows that are associated with the BritBox. So yeah, if you're interested at all in checking that out, let me know. I might be able to find a link for you to follow. Or maybe if I can actually set up a link, I'll include that in the description down below as well. But yeah, this was really cool. I enjoyed these episodes, and I'm looking forward to jumping into the final 2 of the Keys of Marinus. So I will end it here. Everyone, thank you so much for being here for this episode of Discovering Classic Doctor Who, and I will see you in the next episode.